the day he was killed, we'd been in his room next door to where I was staying all day long, talking and laughing and playing. We were having big fun that day, going to a big rally that night. And so as I was coming across the courtyard, he was on the balcony, I was on the courtyard. He said, "Jesse, see, we're late." I said, "Doc, I know we're late because you are 1 hour late." He laughed. Just
Poking fun at you.
There's a preacher being late. He said, "Jesse, you don't even have on a tie." I said, "Doc, the prerequisite of eating is not a tie, but an appetite." He said, "You're crazy." We laughed about that time. Bullet hit.
Out of nowhere.
Well, from up in the bushes. And at 70th time blew his heart out. I ran toward the steps. I was here looking up at him. He was dead on impact. So I got up and walked over to my telephone call, and I called Mrs. King and said, Dr. King has been shot. And within, I guess, 5 minutes, the AP called and said he was dead.
When I can tell your body language changed, recounting what happened to Dr. King and what you saw, how do you feel like that plays a role in the work that you do today?
Well, we were determined not to let one bullet stop the movement. We felt if we had stopped, we would have let him down. So we had to keep going. I've never stopped going. I was there with him on the balcony. Then I'm here 50 years later, still fighting for justice.
50 years later, still fighting for justice. Joining us now is radio and TV personality and associate professor at Chicago State University, Dr. Garrard McClendon. And we've got the founder of My Block, My Hood, My City, Jahmal Cole, sitting on the end. And finally, he's the national spokesperson for the Rainbow Push Coalition, Jonathan Jackson. Thank you all for being here.
It's good to be here.
Certainly an important topic, an important day.
Yeah, you know, guys, as we sit here today, 2018, we know the man that not we, but people have elected in office to represent our country. And where this world stands today, coming off another handful of hateful comments we've heard from the leader of supposedly our free world, how do you think Martin Luther King, who championed and committed his life to change and to create a better world for us, would see how the world is today?
You know, 50 years after Dr. Martin Luther King's death, we have a president who says, "I'm the least racist person that you know," which basically says that he admits that he's a racist. You know, that pretty much undermines and tears down a lot of the work that Martin Luther King became a martyr for. Dr. King said that the persistent and urgent question is, what have you done for others? And if you haven't done anything, if you haven't fed someone, clothed someone, if you haven't taught someone, if you haven't given someone a job, then basically there is a void in that particular person's life. We got a long way to go, even though we've come so far.
Jahmal, tell me what you're saying. Economic equality, that was something that Dr. King was fighting for. He was preparing to launch the Poor People's Campaign right before he died. And it seems like today we're still fighting for the chance to have access to jobs.
Yeah, so teenagers from the south and west side of Chicago aren't connected to the same extent as teenagers from the north side of Chicago. And when I think about that word equity or things being equal, I think we have to have a conversation about what does that mean. So to me, I think equity means taking risks to make sure the disenfranchised have access to opportunities, because clearly that's not happening. Teenagers in North Lawndale and Inglewood, they order their food every day through bulletproof glass windows. German Shepherds sniff them on 79th Street. They have their role models are the guys in the hood. So if they're gonna have access to opportunities, we have to take a risk to make sure that happens.
You know, as you look at Dr. Martin Luther King, one of the things amongst many that sticks out about the icon who's impacted so much change to the day we stand, with which we stand today, is Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, the order. You know, in a world we live in sound bites and clips that carry the day, what do you think his message would be if he stood up on a pulpit and was preaching to us to inspire hope and change?
Well, one of his last sermons, if you will, in 1967, he gave a sermon here in Chicago at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church, and it was entitled, "Why Jesus Called a Man a Fool." And he was saying that people were caught up with materialism and not necessarily thinking they could keep these material possessions, that they weren't doing something for others, that he wanted to have a commitment that you give back, give to others. I think the Reverend Martin Luther King, as far as your first question regarding President Trump, that he would want us to move beyond, in his words, pious irrelevancies and sanctimonious trivialities, not to deal with the personality of Trump, but to deal with the policies of Trump and all the people that support Trump. And so I don't look at Trump as the consummate evil. Trump is a part of a greater symptom because he does have a solid base of support. So we still have an evil virus in the society that has to be challenged and removed. But he would move towards policy, not reacting to every tweet and every personality and disparage the person, but deal with the policies and stay focused.
Let's get down to what action needs to be taken here in the city of Chicago. What action do we need to happen? What kind of policy or what community work needs to be done? Let's definitely talk about what we can do ourselves to advance economic equality and make sure that there are opportunities for jobs here in the city for our youth, for anyone.
We need to push the envelope more on, I believe, education. Because I'm an educator, of course I'm going to say that. But when you have children in some schools outside of Chicago that have 24, 25 AP courses in their high school, and some Chicago schools only have 2 or 3 AP courses, there's an educational and economic divide there. When you have children exposed to computer coding at 5 and 6 years old, as opposed to children in our neighborhoods being exposed to it or never exposed to it, that's frustrating. That's the economic divide, education, and it's frustrating. I got my PhD because of Dr. Martin Luther King and because of my parents. And we have to have more role models in the neighborhood that can get on the ground, like Jahmal and Brother Jonathan, so we can uplift the community and show people that there are examples.
Well, brothers Jahmal, Jonathan, and Gerard, we really appreciate you guys coming in. We're going to keep you around.